Since it is Mother's Day, I've decided to test my 3 daughters to see who loves me more. Each of them will be bringing me a gift, and whoever gets me the best gift clearly loves me the most.
For Mother's Day, I got you a brand new Tesla. It was super expensive. It has all-wheel drive, seats 5 adults, accelerates from 0 to 60 in 3.7 seconds, and has battery long range.
Wow, you must love me a lot to have spent that much money on me, but money isn't everything.
I got you the iPhone 14. It wasn't as expensive as the Tesla, but it was much more useful. It has a holographic FaceTime, a battery lifetime of 2 weeks, and it has 6 camera lenses.
Wow, it's super nice, but I was hoping for a more personalized gift.
For Mother's Day, I spent 3 hours making this sweater for you from scratch.
Oh my gosh, I love it so much. You clearly love me the most since you spent so much time on me.
That sweater is so ugly.
Yeah, it's hideous. Wouldn't you rather have a new Tesla or a new iPhone?
This reminds me of that one play by Shakespeare.
Who's Shakespeare?
Well, I'll tell you a little bit about him. William Shakespeare was born on April 23rd, 1564, to John Shakespeare and Mary Arden. His father worked as a glove maker and held official positions in their town of Stratford. Because of his father's high status in the town, Shakespeare was able to attend school, where he was taught reading and writing. When he was 18, he married 26-year-old Anne Hathaway, who was already pregnant at the time. Their first daughter, Susanna, was born in 1583, and 2 years later, Anne gave birth to twins, Hamnet and Judith. After the twins were born, there are 7 years of Shakespeare's life when no records exist. In 1592, the first records of Shakespeare's whereabouts, after the lost years, document him as founding member of the Lord of Chamberlain's Men, an acting company. By 1599, Shakespeare and his business partners built their own theater on the south bank of the Thames River. They called this the Globe Theater. During this time with the company, he wrote his most famous tragedies, Macbeth and King Lear, and romances, The Tempest and The Winter's Tale. Over the course of 2 decades, Shakespeare wrote a total of 37 plays. The themes varied from histories, tragedies, and comedies. Scholars believe he died on his birthday in 1616, and the cause of his death is unknown, but most assume a brief illness.
King Lear is one of Shakespeare's most famous tragedies and was written in 1605 or 1606. It is based on the legend of Lear of Britain, a pre-Roman Celtic king from mythology. The setting of the play is as far from Shakespeare's own time as the setting of any of his other plays, but the suffering of parents at the hands of their own children was close to home for much of the play's audience. A possible event that could have influenced the writing of this play is the true story of William Allen, the mayor of London, who was treated very poorly by his 3 daughters after dividing his wealth among them. Another possibility is the case of Sir Brian Annesley, whose eldest daughter tried to have him declared insane so that she could take his property. However, his youngest daughter was able to successfully defend her father. Elizabethan England was extremely hierarchical, demanding respect to the wealthy but also the elderly. Shakespeare's King Lear demonstrates how vulnerable parents are to their dishonest and corrupt children and how unstable Elizabethan society actually was.
In the scene we will be performing, the king begs his youngest daughter for forgiveness after they are reunited.
Lear, the aging king of Britain, decides to divide his kingdom in portions to his 3 daughters. The size of the piece of land will be in proportion to how much they love him. Goneril and Regan make grand speeches pronouncing their love and are rewarded by King Lear. The youngest daughter, Cordelia, is the only one who actually loves her father. She refuses to make an insincere speech like her older sisters. She states that there are no words to describe her love for her father. King Lear is enraged and disowns Cordelia. It does not take long for Lear to realize he made a mistake. Goneril and Regan begin to undermine his authority and go back on their promises to support him.
The king slowly goes insane and flees his daughters' houses. Meanwhile, Gloucester, a nobleman, is experiencing problems with his own children as well. He is tricked by his illegitimate son, Edmund, into believing that his legitimate son is trying to kill him. Gloucester is loyal to the king despite the danger and decides to help him. Cordelia hears about his father's misery, and with the help of her husband, the King of France, sends an army to Dover in an effort to save Lear. How does the king?
Madam, sleep still.
O you kind gods, cure this great breach in his abused nature, the untuned and jarring senses, a wind-up of his child-changed father.
So please your majesty, that we may wake the king. He hath slept long.
Be governed by your knowledge, and proceed I the sway of your own will. Is he arrayed?
Ay, madam, in the heaviness of his sleep, we put fresh garments on him. Be by, good madam, when we do awake him, I doubt not of his temperance.
Very well.
Please you, draw near, louder the music there.
Father, these white flakes had challenged pity of them. Was this a face to be opposed against the warring winds, to stand against the deep dread bolted thunder, in the most terrible and nimble stroke of quick cross lightning, to watch poor Perdue with this thin helm, mine enemy's dog, thou he had bit me, should have stood that night against my fire, and wast thou fain, poor father, to hovel thee with swine and rug forlorn. In short and musty straw, alack, alack, 'tis wonder that thy life and wits at once had not concluded all. He wakes, speak to him.
Madam, do you, 'tis fittest.
How does my royal lord? How fares your majesty?
Where have I been? Where am I? Fair daylight? I am mightily abused. I shouldn't die with pity. To see another thus, I know not what to say. I will not swear these are my hands. Let's see. I feel this pinprick.
Oh, look upon me, sir, and hold your hands in benediction o'er me. No, sir, you must not kneel.
Pray, do not mock me. I'm a very foolish, fond old man. 80 and upward, not an hour more nor less. And, to deal plainly, I fear I am not in my perfect mind. Methinks I should know you, and know this man. Yet I am doubtful, for I am mainly ignorant. What place this is, and all the skill I have.
Sir, do you know me?
Remembers not these garments, nor I know not where I did lodge last night. Do not laugh at me, for as I am a man, I think this lady to be my child Cordelia.
So I am.
Be your tears wet? Yes, faith I pray, weep not. If you have poison for me, I will drink it. I know you do not love me, for your sisters have, as I do remember, done me wrong. You have some cause, they have not.
No cause, no cause.
Be comforted, good madam. The great rage, you see, is killed in him, and yet it is danger to make him even o'er the time he has lost. Desire him to go in, trouble him no more till farther setting.
Be comforted, good madam, the great rage, you see, is killed on him, and yet it is danger to make him even o'er the time he has lost. Desire him to go in, trouble him no more, till farther setting.
Will it please your highness walk?
You must bear with me. Pray you now, forget and forgive. I am old and foolish.
The English troops, led by Edmund, defeat the French troops, led by Cordelia. Cordelia and her father are captured. Edmund has become romantically involved with both Regan and Goneril. Goneril poisons Regan out of jealousy and then kills herself when what she has done is revealed to her husband. Cordelia is executed in prison on the orders of Edmund. King Lear, heartbroken, dies of grief with Cordelia's body in his arms.
The themes of Shakespeare's King Lear include justice, reconciliation, and blindness. The theme of justice is shown as King Lear dies heartbroken at the end of the play because of his foolishness at the beginning. The central relationship in the play is the self-sacrificing love between Cordelia and her father. At the end of the play, the king recognizes the error of his ways, and Cordelia forgives him for his mistakes, representing the theme of reconciliation. Also, the theme of blindness is present as the king is blind to his daughter's false love. In the parallel story of Gloucester, he is metaphorically blind to the false love of his son, but when physically blinded by Cornwall, his eyes are metaphorically open to the truth.
King Lear is usually ranked with Hamlet as one of Shakespeare's greatest plays. In the opinion of Doug Lanier, a professor of English and director of the London program at the University of New Hampshire, King Lear is the greatest play written by William Shakespeare. He states that the play's exceptional power remains its capacity to remind us that hope and love, however fleeting, remain the world's most precious resource.
In our opinion, Shakespeare's King Lear offers many lessons to different kinds of audiences.
The beginning of the play was entertaining compared to other plays we have read in high school.
As the play went on, the various subplots made the story too complicated.
The ending, however, was able to focus on the original plot and tie all of the storylines together.
Overall, we thought this tragedy taught us a lot, but did not hold the reader's attention to the end.
Wow, that was super interesting.
I learned a lot about what greed can do to a family.
Yes, Shakespeare really knew what he was talking about since his play connects to our modern lives.
I'm glad my test was able to teach you guys all something today, but I will still be keeping all of your gifts.